It was a calm Saturday morning when Denise Walker, a graceful black woman in her mid-50s, walked into the Maple Leaf Diner, a popular restaurant in downtown Chicago. Dressed neatly in a blue floral dress and carrying a small purse, she wore the warm smile of someone who had known both hardship and triumph. She was here to enjoy breakfast, something she rarely did for herself. What she didn't know was that this ordinary visit would uncover deep prejudice and reveal an unexpected truth. As Denise entered, the comforting aroma of fresh coffee and maple syrup filled the air. The place was busy but not crowded. She looked around for a seat, smiling politely at the other diners. Behind the counter stood Tracy Miller, a waitress in her late 30s, who had worked there for over a decade. She prided herself on knowing her regulars, but when she saw Denise, her expression changed instantly. Her friendly face hardened into a mask of judgment. Tracy whispered to another waitress, loud enough for Denise to hear, "We don't usually get her kind around here." The other waitress frowned but said nothing. Denise chose to ignore the remark and quietly took a seat near the window. After 10 minutes of waiting, no one approached her. Other customers who came in after her were being served promptly. She raised her hand gently to get Tracy's attention. "Excuse me, ma'am," Denise said kindly. "Could I please get a menu?" Tracy turned, feigned surprise, and replied curtly, "We're kind of busy right now. Maybe you should try the diner down the street." Denise blinked, unsure how to respond. "I don't mind waiting. I just wanted some breakfast." Tracy crossed her arms. "Look, lady, I don't think this is the place for you. We have a certain atmosphere. You understand?" The insult hung heavy in the air. A few nearby customers turned to look, sensing the tension. Denise swallowed her hurt. She had faced racism before, but it still stung every time. Before she could respond, a voice came from behind her. "Excuse me, is there a problem here?" It was Michael Walker, a tall, well-dressed man in his early 30s. He had just walked in, holding a clipboard and wearing a name tag that read Michael W., owner. His presence commanded respect. Tracy's tone immediately softened. "Oh. Mr. Walker, no, not at all. Just handling a situation." Michael's eyes shifted to his mother, and then back to Tracy. "A situation? That woman you're talking to happens to be my mother." The diner went silent. Forks froze mid-air. Tracy's face turned pale. "Your mother," she stammered. "Yes," Michael said firmly. "The same woman who helped me buy this restaurant when no one else believed in me. The same woman who raised me to treat everyone with respect, something you clearly haven't learned." Denise sat quietly, tears welling in her eyes. She had no idea her son would be there that morning. Michael turned to her and smiled gently. "Mom, I thought you were having breakfast at home." "I wanted to surprise you," she whispered. He nodded, then looked back at Tracy. "Pack up your things. You're done here." Tracy's mouth fell open. "Wait, please, I didn't know she was your mother." "I was just," Michael cut her off. "You were just being racist. Whether she's my mother or a stranger, it doesn't matter. No one will be treated like that under my roof." The restaurant remained silent except for the soft hum of the ceiling fan. Tracy, red-faced and trembling, muttered an apology and rushed to the back. Michael walked over to his mother and gently pulled out a chair for her. "Sit, Mom. Breakfast is on me today." He called over another waitress, a kind young woman named Sarah. "Please get my mother anything she wants. And make sure her table is served first." As Denise smiled and thanked her son, whispers began to spread across the diner. Customers nodded approvingly, some even clapping quietly. A few stood to shake Michael's hand, expressing admiration for how he handled the situation. Sarah returned with a steaming plate of pancakes, scrambled eggs, and freshly brewed coffee. Denise took a sip and smiled. "You've made me so proud, Michael." He chuckled softly. "You made me who I am, Mom. I just did what you taught me, to stand up for what's right." For the rest of that morning, the diner felt different. The energy had shifted, lighter, kinder, more aware. The regulars who had witnessed the scene now looked at Denise not just as a customer, but as the mother of the man who owned the very place they loved. Before leaving, Denise hugged her son tightly and whispered, "Keep changing hearts, one person at a time." He nodded, smiling warmly. "Always, Mom." As she walked out into the sunlight, she felt a deep sense of peace. Justice had been served, not with anger, but with dignity. The morning after the shocking incident at the Maple Leaf Diner, the entire neighborhood was talking. Videos of Michael standing up for his mother had gone viral overnight. A young customer had secretly recorded everything on her phone, and by morning, the clip had millions of views with the caption, "When a racist waitress messes with the wrong woman." People were praising Michael for his courage and compassion. The restaurant's social media pages were flooded with comments, some angry at the waitress, others filled with love and respect for the Walkers. But for Denise, the fame didn't matter. What mattered was that her son had handled it with grace. That afternoon, Denise visited the diner again, this time when it was quieter. Michael was in his office, reviewing resumes. After firing Tracy, he needed a new staff member, but he wanted to do things differently this time. "Mom," Michael said, standing up as she entered. "I didn't expect you back so soon." Denise smiled softly. "I came to talk about what happened yesterday." He gestured for her to sit. "If it's about Tracy, don't worry. She's gone. I won't tolerate hate here." "I know," she said, her tone calm but serious. "But firing one person doesn't end the problem. Hate doesn't live in one person, son. It hides in silence, in the people who see wrong and say nothing." Michael leaned back, thinking. "You're right. But what can we do?" "Teach them," she said. "Make this diner a place that welcomes everyone, not just through words, but through action." Her words sank deep into his heart. The next week, the Maple Leaf Diner changed in ways no one expected. Michael invited a local community group to host unity breakfasts every Saturday morning, free meals for anyone, regardless of color, class, or background. He even set up a small wall display called Stories of Respect, where customers could share acts of kindness they'd witnessed or experienced. Soon, the diner became known not just for its pancakes, but for its purpose. But life has a way of testing the strong. One rainy evening, about a month later, the diner door opened, and to everyone's surprise, Tracy walked in. Her head was bowed, and she looked nothing like the arrogant woman she once was. The restaurant went quiet. Denise was there, helping Michael organize an event. Michael stood up immediately. "Tracy, what are you doing here?" She took a shaky breath. "I came to apologize. I've been thinking about what I did, what I said. I lost my job, my reputation, and honestly, I deserved it. But that day changed me." Denise looked at her quietly, searching her face for truth. Tracy continued, her voice trembling. "I grew up hearing things that made me think I was better than others. But when you stood up for your mom, it hit me. I saw how ugly I'd become. I can't take back what I did, but I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Mrs. Walker. From the bottom of my heart." Denise's eyes softened. "People make mistakes, Tracy. What matters is if they learn from them." Tracy nodded, tears streaming down. "I did. I've started volunteering at a shelter, helping people find jobs. I even spoke to my church about what happened. I just wanted you to know." For a moment, the air was heavy with silence. Then Denise stood and gently placed her hand on Tracy's shoulder. "Forgiveness doesn't excuse what happened. But it frees both of us. I forgive you." Tracy broke down crying. The entire diner watched, some wiping away their own tears. Michael walked over, his expression soft but firm. "I'm glad you came back. You can't work here again, but maybe you can help us with our next community event. Use your story to teach others." Tracy smiled through her tears. "I'd like that." That evening, the diner glowed brighter than ever. The smell of coffee mixed with laughter, and the walls seemed to hum with new life, the kind that comes from forgiveness and growth. Later, as the night grew quiet, Denise and Michael sat together by the window, watching the city lights shimmer through the rain. "You did good, son," she said softly. He looked at her, his voice filled with gratitude. "You taught me everything I know, Mom." She smiled. "And now, you're teaching the world." They clinked their coffee mugs together, and for a moment, all was right in the world, proof that love and respect will always win, even after hate tries to take the stage. 2 months had passed since the emotional reunion at the Maple Leaf Diner. The once small family restaurant had now become a symbol of unity and forgiveness in Chicago. News channels had run stories about Michael and Denise, calling them the mother and son who changed hearts through kindness. Business was booming. Every table was filled, people from all backgrounds, laughing and eating together. On the walls hung photos of local heroes and volunteers who had helped the diner's Unity Breakfast program succeed. Denise had become a gentle presence there, often greeting customers with her calm smile and warm heart, but as success grew, so did the challenges. One chilly December morning, Michael received an email that made his stomach drop. The diner's landlord was selling the building, and the new developer wanted to tear it down to build luxury apartments. The diner had 60 days to vacate unless they could buy the property, something Michael couldn't afford alone. He sat in his office, head in his hands. Denise walked in quietly. "What's wrong, son?" He handed her the letter. "They're selling the building. I don't have the money to buy it, Mom. Everything we built, it might all be gone." Denise took a deep breath. Maybe this isn't the end. Maybe it's another beginning. But even her strength couldn't hide the worry in her eyes. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood. Loyal customers were heartbroken. The diner had become more than a restaurant, it was a safe haven. People wanted to help, but the money needed was far too much. Then, one afternoon, as Michael was closing early, someone knocked on the glass door. It was Tracy. Michael hesitated before unlocking it. Tracy? It's late. She smiled nervously. I know. I heard what's happening. I came to talk. He sighed. We're doing everything we can, but it's tough. Tracy reached into her purse and handed him a folder. Inside were papers, letters, and donation pledges. I've been working with a local charity group, she said. They help fund small Black-owned businesses and community restaurants. I told them your story. They want to help. Michael flipped through the pages, stunned. Tracy, this could save us. She smiled through tears. I owed you more than an apology. You gave me a chance to make things right. This is me trying to give something back. Denise, who had overheard from the doorway, walked in. Tracy, you didn't have to. Tracy shook her head. Yes, I did. I was blind before, Mrs. Walker. But you opened my eyes. Now, I want to help keep this place, your place, alive. Michael was speechless. He hugged her gently. Thank you. You don't know what this means. Within weeks, the charity partnership launched a community fundraiser. Local businesses pitched in, customers donated, and the story once again captured social media's heart. Reporters returned to the diner, sharing the inspiring news. The waitress who once discriminated is now helping save the place she once disrespected. The campaign raised enough money to buy the building outright. On the day of the official signing, the diner was packed. Balloons decorated the windows, kids laughed, and Denise wore her favorite blue dress, the same one from the day of the first incident. Michael stood on a small stage near the counter, microphone in hand. I want to thank everyone who stood by us, he said, voice trembling with emotion. And I especially want to thank someone who reminded me that people can change. Tracy, please come up here. The crowd clapped warmly as Tracy stepped forward, tears glistening in her eyes. Michael continued, we all make mistakes. What defines us is what we do after. Tracy didn't just say sorry, she showed it. Because of her efforts, the Maple Leaf Diner will stay open for years to come. Tracy took the microphone, her voice shaking. A few months ago, I was the reason this family hurt. Today, I stand here proud to be part of their healing. I'll never forget the grace I was shown. It changed me. Denise walked up and hugged her tightly. The crowd erupted in applause. From that day on, Tracy volunteered at the diner every weekend, not for pay, but for purpose. She helped run the Unity Breakfast program, teaching others about respect, empathy, and second chances. Months later, a small plaque was placed near the door. It read, "This diner stands for forgiveness, equality, and love. Hate divides, kindness unites. Dedicated to those who choose to change." As Denise and Michael watched new faces walk through the door, families, students, workers, and travelers, they knew something powerful had been born. The diner wasn't just surviving. It was thriving, stronger than ever. Outside, as the sun set over the city, Denise smiled and whispered, "You see, Michael? Even broken hearts can build beautiful things." He nodded, slipping an arm around her shoulders. "Thanks to you, Mom, and maybe, thanks to a woman who found her way back." They watched as the diner lights glowed warmly against the evening sky, a beacon of hope in a world that needed it more than ever.